Hello, Shane Willis. Welcome to this week's episode of How's the Market, Pensacola. Man, I just got back off an incredible trip down to Orlando last week. I coach with one of the top real estate coaches in the country, the Tom Ferry organization, and I went down there. They had a marketing 2-day conference. It really should have been a 3-day conference because I think the second day started at something like 0700 and went till about 1930. About 7. I mean, it was literally 12 hours with an hour lunch break, and that was it. And it was just, it was like drinking from a fire hose. They really are talking about how we can help sellers in the 2019 and 2020 market differentiate, change things up. What is the social media doing? How is that helping them get more money for their listings? And how to help buyers differentiate it, especially with the market we're going to be talking about right now. You've got a lot of price points that are hyper sellers. So how does a buyer need to package things a little different as we exit 2019, head towards 2020? So I went through an incredible week's worth of training. I'm still just trying to I'm rewriting notes after notes after notes after notes. Anyways, I'm not going to talk to you about those notes though. We're here to talk to you about real estate because you want to know the data on that. Let's go. My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and don't need no permission. I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth? All right, so let's get into this. Like I do every episode. For those who haven't seen the episodes yet, I want to give you this as a baseline. If you have between 6 and 7 months worth of inventory, you have what we call a neutral market. Anything greater than 7 months is considered a buyer's market. Anything less than 6 months is considered a seller's market. What it doesn't say, anything less than 3 months is a hyper seller's market. Anything more than 9 months is a hyper buyer's market. So let's see what we got. There's Escambia County. What do we got here? Well, look at there. There's a little bit of a change, but not a whole lot. It looks like everything under 300. Well, now this was last week, if I remember correctly, this was a hyper sellers. This was under 3 months inventory. So the 3 to 350 has actually come up a little bit, but basically, anything under 450 is a seller's market. Anything under 300 is a hyper seller's market. And I can tell you, I have got a couple of clients I'm working with right now trying to buy something between the 2 and 3 mark. And even though there's a lot of inventory, they're not getting. You're going to have. We're fighting over getting the property. And the one couple. And I did this one time. They said, hey, we want to get a pre-approval afterwards. And I told this story plenty of times, and it just happened to them again. And I said, okay, well, we'll go look at one house before we do the pre-approval because they were getting to know me. And so we did, and she fell in love with it. And it took them a day to get the pre-approval, and they lost it. It's literally how fast it was going. And she was devastated. That's why I tell people, though, please, you got to get the pre-approval first because it's just not going to, that could happen. We've got to differentiate. Like I was saying before, one of the things that we talked about down in Orlando was a buyer's got to differentiate. They got to package something together on why they have the better offer. And it's not always price. I had another client that's in that same area that they're wanting to buy. And, I think the property was listed at $267 and they put in an offer at $271. But it's not just the price. So they were $4,000 over, but they needed to close middle of November, and this is middle of September, and so it was a 2-month close. And the seller actually took a little bit of less cash, although they said it was over list. I don't think the agent was supposed to tell me that. As a broker, I'm telling you they wasn't supposed to tell me that, but they did. They didn't tell me exactly, but they did say it was over list, but not as much as ours. But they were able to close in 3 weeks because the loan had already been pre-approved, pre-underwritten. You get to the point where you got a pre-qualification, pre-approval, and then you can actually underwrite. There are some lenders out there that will underwrite the person. Now all you have to do is add the property, get the appraisal, and we're done. So that's a way of differentiating. But let me get back to it. That's these price points right here. If you're a seller, you can kind of demand a few things. Now don't be a jerk. Hey, I want a $5,000 earnest money deposit before you can see the house. Yeah, okay, I got a little itch for you. That's not going to work. But can you say, hey, the property, we think it's probably worth $225 and so let's list it at $230? Yeah, because we can see that appreciation that's happened, especially off of this year, if the last sold was a couple of months old. So we still got this same little quabble here. Quabble? Is that a word? Quabble. We're going to use it a word. Okay? It's a word today. 450 to 500 is a buyer's market. Now, I know it's yellow. This is yellow and this is yellow, so that's supposed to be 7. But if you remember, like if I pull this back up, look, greater than 7 months is considered a buyer's market. So they put it yellow instead of a buyer's market. They just put it, those are buyers, but yet 4 to 450 is almost a hyper sellers. So 450 to 500 is almost a hyper buyers, and 4 to 450 is a hyper sellers. So if you think that your property is worth 445 or 450 or 455, and you need to move quickly, we got a price. There's a strategy there that has to be done, and you don't know that strategy unless you're looking at numbers like this every week. It's one of the reasons I do this show, is because I can get the chance to look at these numbers every week and review it, so that when I come to talk to you being a professional, I know this. This at 7.8 months worth of inventory is a different strategy than this at 3.4 months worth of inventory. It just is. There's going to be some similarities, but it's a different strategy. So 600 to 450 is a buyer's market. At 6 to 650, they're calling that a neutral market, and that's okay in Escambia County. Not much inventory, though, 16 properties, and that's it. The 650 to 700, we got a year and a half worth of inventory. One of the things I did find was 700 plus. This has been over a year for a while. It's come down some. And I think we just had some luxury properties drop off the market. So I don't really want to say that's too much there. Let's move on to Santa Rosa County. And like I said, man, this is the last few weeks, this has been amazing to me. I don't see any blue. Again, 650 to 700, that's 8.3 months worth of inventory. That should be blue. That should be a buyer's market, because we're almost at a hyper buyer's market there. But look at this. Anything under $500,000, anything under $500,000 in Santa Rosa County is a hyper seller's market right now. There's not as much inventory out there, and the appetite is just huge. Huge. That's why I know some of the builders are actually doing well. And now that we're building into the fourth quarter, I think next week starts the fourth quarter, they're going to start. They've been trying the last 2 months, 3 months to get buildings going so that we can get finished, because people are going to start talking about homesteading and wanting the property to be done and closed by the end of the quarter, end of the year. Look at this. If you're considering selling anything in Santa Rosa County under $500,000, call me. All right, let's chat. Let's talk about the marketing, because we can push the envelope some. And this shows why. I mean, look at this, 100, 150. There's not even a month's worth of inventory. There's 20 houses, 20 active, 20. So if your property falls in here, you're almost writing the rules, because there's not many people playing the game. Makes sense? I mean, 2 to 250, you got 144. That's the biggest one, but it's still 1.8 months worth of inventory. 3 to 350, there's only 77 active. And I promise you, I hate to throw percentages out, but I would be willing to bet 30% of that is new builds. It's not even built yet. So you probably only have 47 homes you can walk in and actually move into tomorrow. Maybe 50. That's it. So we've got an inventory crisis right now. That's one of the reasons we're driving prices up some more, on top of the record mortgage lows. If you listen to my other podcast that I did last year, I predicted we were going to be in the 5s by now. I really did. And that's where everything economically was pointing. But the Fed made a twist, a turn that nobody was really expecting. And so we got to drop. So when you have those two elements collide like that, you're just going to have prices continue to increase. Are they going to increase double digits like we saw in the early 2000s? No. And we saw that even as late as 2017. If you look back at 2017's numbers, it was about 10.8% in Santa Rosa County and 11.2% in Escambia County. Flip that. Reverse that. It's 10.8 in Escambia County, 11.2 in Santa Rosa County. But so we did see double digits that particular year. Did we see it last year? No. Both of them were in the high single digits. I think now we're going to continue to see mid-single digits increases. But if you look at the top economists, and that was one of the things that we studied at the group as well, they surveyed the top 100 real estate economists in the country and said, anybody see a downturn over the next 5 years? Because we hear this, hey, recession's coming. Yeah, well, if you know anything about the recessions, the last 5, 3 of the last 5 real estate has went up. One of them, real estate, went down less than 1%. We just have a knee-jerk reaction from the last one because real estate led the recession. and everything fell. So everybody's like, wait, is it going to fall? Because we've got these numbers here. It's all hot again. Let me, what? Stop. There's nothing pointing to that. Nothing. The jobs are doing well. We continue to bring jobs here. Navy Federal is doing fantastic. I know of a few other places that are about to start opening. So the jobs are doing well. The job market's well. The rates are just at historic lows. I'm seeing refis left and right. And these purchases are here. So, everything. So all the way to 700,000 plus is at 7.4. So almost a neutral market. Slightly a buyer's market. That's it. If you're looking at doing anything, listen, stay tuned right here to the end. You're getting there. I've got a free guide. All right. I'm going to give you a website right now to show you how you can get a free seller's guide. And if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook later, like next year, I update that guide every quarter to show the new stuff that's going on that particular quarter. So you can go check it out. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great last week of September. Third quarter's almost over. What's your plans for the fourth quarter?
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and
Don't need no permission.
I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?